Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for checking out the video. This is Coach Braves here of the Nashville Needle Kings, and I have the Week 2 SRL Power Rankings for you today. They are a few days late, and I apologize for that. It's been a pretty rough week for me, and I am going solo today. No Coach Boot here. He'll be joining us again next week, and I promise you next week we'll get back on track with having it out on Thursday. So, yeah, I just wanted to apologize for that. Like I said, it's been a really rough week. But we'll get back on track. So I do have the power rankings for you. Again, I wasn't able to watch every match, so some of these are based off stats in that, so it might not be the most accurate week of power rankings we've done. And especially the teams in the middle from about 6 to 14 are all very even in that. So these might not be perfect, but we're still early in the season, and they can still change a lot. And I expect them to change a lot. A lot of teams come out and impress. Some have had some struggles. So, yeah, let's get into it, though. First off, at number 16, we have the Celadon City Porygon. They remain at 16 after losing 0-4 this week. Their MVP was the G-Max Dreadnought, and they are sitting at 0-2 with a -7 differential. So they look to bounce back next week and get that first win on the board. At number 15, we have the Rally Goons. They fell one spot this week. They are sitting at 0-2 with the worst differential in the league, unfortunately for them, at -10. They fall 0-6 this week against a solid team, though, and their MVP of the week goes to Kangaskhan. Moving on to number 14, we have the Wedgehurst Rillaboom. Sorry, I struggled a little bit there. Wedgehurst Rillaboom. They fall one spot after an 0-2 loss this week. They sit at 0-2, but not a terrible differential, with just being -2. And their MVP goes to Dragapult. Moving on to number 13, we have the Fargo Phalanx. They fall 5 spots. This one was really harsh, and I really think I moved them too far down. But a lot of teams right behind them had good wins this week, and I wanted to move them up. So a 1-point loss they shouldn't fall 5 spots, but again, I couldn't justify them being in front of the other teams I wanted to move up. So yes, it's a very harsh movement. But if they pick up a win week 3, I see them jumping a few spots back up to probably where they deserve to be. So probably apologize for this rough drop. But again, I don't see it sticking. Their record is currently 1-1. They have a -1 differential. They did lose 4-5 in a close one this week in a battle against a very, very bulky team. And they did almost bring it back at the end with a Quiver Dancing Butterfree. So good effort there on Butterfree's part, who picks up the MVP for this team. Moving on to number 12, we have the Immunity Idols, the other team in that match who won the 5-4. They move up 3 spots. They are 2-0 with a +4 differential, and their MVP was their Cinderace. This team has impressed in the first 2 weeks, one of the new teams into the league, sitting at 2-0. I believe I had them ranked dead last to start the season, and they've already climbed 4 spots in the first 2 weeks. And they have been trying to put the league on notice and continue to climb. So I'm looking forward to see what they do in week 3. Moving on to number 11, we have the New York Knicks. They climb 1 spot. They are a 1-1 team with a 0 differential. They lost 0-4 week 1 and then win 4-0 week 2. So they are sitting at number 11, and their MVP was the Reboot. So yeah, Cinderace and Reboot back-to-back MVPs at number 12 and 11. So that's kind of cool to see. Reboot picked up, I believe, 2 kills at the end of the match, hitting some high jump kicks, I believe. So congrats to the Knicks moving up 1 spot. On to number 10, we have the Greninjas and Coach Shibby sitting at number 10. No change for them this week. They did pick up a 2-0 win, Gyarados being their MVP. They did have a rough week 1 loss, though, so that 2-0 win doesn't move them up at all, but they do stay put at number 10. They are 1-1 with a -3 differential. So moving on to number 9, and we have the Lavender Town Gengars. The Coach of the Week for week 1 picked up a 5-0 win. Probably had the most disappointing performance in week 2, losing 0-6, but against one of the best teams in the league. So they do sit at -1 differential with a 1-1 record. Their MVP goes to Mudsdale. Now it's hard to not move a team down after losing 0-6, but again, they were so impressive in week 1. So week 3, we wait to see which team comes out. The team that impressed week 1 with that 5-0 win, or the team that disappointed week 2 with 0-6. So this team could see big change in week 3 depending on which one of those we see. So that's them sitting at number 9. Number 8, we have myself. I fell 2 spots. I am sitting at 1-1 with a +3 differential. I lost a 1-2 matchup in a exciting match that had a lot of RNG on both sides. It was definitely a fun one. If you haven't seen it, check out my channel. Check out that battle. It was a one of the most fun battles I've had. My MVP went to my G-Max Rillaboom, who tried to bring it back, but unfortunately got confused. But that's all right. So we fall 2 spots to number 8. Number 7 is the team that beat me, the Flapples. They won that 2-1 match. They climbed 4 spots after a loss of a tie in week 1 and then the close win in week 2. They sit at 1-1 with a +1. Their MVP goes to that Noivern, who confused my Rillaboom at the end to secure the win. So yeah, that's the Flapples sitting at number 7. Number 6, we have the newcomer to the league, the Straw Hat Crocodiles. I use the same mentality as I did when we had the other new coach join the league mid-season. I could have lowered them a lot. A new coach, we don't know much about them in this league specifically. I have seen them play a little bit over in the PWD. But I decided to just kind of leave them where they were and wait to see how they do. So they actually do move up 1 spot just because I fell too. So really I wanted to keep them put, but again, they climbed just because of my failure. So they are sitting at number 6, and we're going to kind of just wait to see what this team does and let them stay in the spot they inherit. So yeah, they are 0-2 with a -5, but again, neither of those have been them. And the 0-3 loss this week was actually a forfeit loss by Coach EJ, who no longer had time to play, so he took the forfeit loss against Sen. So that's why this team doesn't see much change in that. We'll wait to see how Coach Shade of Defeat does in this league in week 3, who actually plays me. And that battle has been played, but I won't say how it goes. Go check out either his battle or my video when it goes up if you want to see how that battle went. Moving on to the top 5. And real quick, before I say anything about number 5, as I said before the video, 6 through 14, you could really draw out of a hat and put them in any order. I really think those 8 spots are so close. So if you're number 13, 14, you think you should be higher, you probably do. If you're number 7 or like 6, 7, 8, and you think you might be a little overranked and you should be a little bit lower, you might be. Like I said, those are so close. So anyone in that range could really fall or climb very quickly. All right, so moving on to a top 5, we have the Lisbon Arcanine at number 5, holding that down that 5 spot. They pick up a massive 6-0 win this week to sit at 2-0 with a +6 differential, and their MVP goes to Tentacruel. So a big win there for the Arcanine. Stay at number 5. This was our new coach from a week ago, coach of the Renegades here. They fall 1 spot after losing to another top 5 team in a 5-5 tie. So they are sitting at 0-2 with a -4. Their MVP was G-Max Flapple. But again, the reason they're 0-2 and still in the top 5 is because the team they took over for was originally ranked in the top 5. I let them keep that spot. And then this week had a pretty impressive showing. Very surprised at the end of the match they didn't actually pick up the win. The health must have been extremely close. So they do pick up that loss. But again, it was against a top 5 team, and they easily could have won it. So that's why they only fall 1 spot, despite the 0-2 record. In this season, I do want to try to take into effect the performances more than the records. Last year I was big on the records, and you got to win games to be highly ranked. But I want to take performance more into account this year, so that's why you see this team still in the top 5, even though they are 0-2. Now, that being said, next week if they fall to 0-3, and that I probably will not be able to justify them being in the top 5 anymore, and they will probably see their way out of it. But we'll see how they do in week 3. Moving on to our top 3, we have the team that beat them in that 5-5 tie, the Stark Mountain Garatinas, and the commissioner of the league, Coach Manny. He picked up the surprising 5-5 win. Even him in his video thought he had lost, I believe, on that last turn. But the Regenerator ability came in clutch, and it actually gave him enough health to win the match. So he is sitting at 2-0 with a +2 differential. And his MVP goes to his Cinderace. So if you notice MVPs, we had 2 Cinderaces and a Reboot. So, and I think we've had a Rillaboom. And if we move on to number 2, you actually see G-Max and Teleon winning an MVP. So we've had all 3 starters win MVPs, and 3 versions of the Cinderace starter win MVP. So the starters in this gen doing some work this week. The Heligon Hydreigons are here at number 2. Coach Bladdle has looked very impressive to start the season. He picks up a 6-0 win. He is sitting at 2-0 with our league's best differential, a +10. and he is right on the heels of Sen. So if Sen starts to falter, Coach Blattle here is ready to take over that top spot. So he is sitting here at a very impressive number 2. That being said, our number 1 remains Sen. He is the reigning champ, sitting at 2-0 with a +7. And again, the reason you don't see that MVP there is because he actually picked up that 3-0 forfeit win over Coach EJ. So unfortunate for him that the 2 teams he's played in the first 2 weeks both had to drop out of the league. So hopefully he gets some more consistent competition in the coming weeks. But he will retain that top spot till somebody takes it from him. So he remains at number 1. And lastly, we're going to look at the weekly awards here. Coach of the Week goes to Coach Blattle and the Hellgun Hydreigons, who pick up that 6-0 win. Very impressive. Like I said, probably been the most impressive team of the first 2 weeks. Like I said, doesn't have that top spot. We keep that with the reigning champ for now, but the Hellgun Hydreigons have been extremely impressive with Coach Blattle. And the MVP goes to his G-Max Centellion, who I believe picked up 4 kills in his win. So, yeah, that is your awards for the week. So that is all I have for you today. Again, sorry this is so late and a little bit rushed in that. Like I said, this is probably the worst quality of one of these videos we're going to see in the year. Next week we'll bounce back, have a great power rankings video for you, and it will be out on time. So hopefully you guys give us another chance next week and you'll tune back in. Thanks guys. Have a good one. Bye.